John, are your pants on? Yeah.
They
all
are.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. I had to check, but they are.
We are Brightside Home Theater.
Hey, home theater nerds. Welcome to the Brightside Home Theater Podcast, a home theater podcast that's all about the experiences, the sights,
The sounds.
Los sientes. Sorry, the scenes.
Oh my God, he can't. I mean, we rehearse. He goes to other languages. Oh my God. He's finally, you're in Spain, so everything's fine. As long as you're in Spain and not like, Brazil, pretending you're
not a green
Spain.
screen. Yeah, it's not a green screen, I swear.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I turn? I can probably turn this so you can see outside the window if you like. There you go. That's Spain out there. Look, there you go.
It's
obviously
that's nighttime everywhere in the world, everybody. You just saw it live in Spain. Dark. It's beautiful at night there, just like here. Black.
Yes. Happens every day.
Yeah. Well, every night. Doesn't happen during the day.
Oh man. So I made it down here okay.
Nice. How is it?
Yeah.
How long you been there?
Since Saturday we flew down. So very bumpy flight. Flew through 2 thunderstorms, one over France, one over Spain. So it was shaking and rocking.
Nice.
But we got here in the end. That was fine. So it's very, very nice. Warm, not a cloud in the sky every single day. 28, 29 degrees Celsius, which to you guys, of course, won't feel, you'll be like, oh, is that it? Especially John.
80s.
High 80s. So nothing to you guys. But down here in Spain, it's beautiful. Right by what you can't see from that picture is the sea, which we can, just right outside the window.
Awesome.
It's very, very pleasant. So, very nice. And here for another week and a half. So it's great. Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
good.
I don't know if you've seen on social media. I haven't been on social media. Haven't had a chance. I haven't talked to you guys personally yet, even about this. But did you hear about the big winner?
Mikey?
Yeah.
I did.
Oh,
only from the chat.
Yeah. Oh, you saw it in the chat. Okay. Yeah. Huge. I was so excited for him. I found out, I think it was Friday, Brett calls me and he's like, do you have his number? And I was like, yeah. And I gave him the number and he's like, all right, don't say it. Don't say anything to anybody because I want to wait. I want him to be surprised. I don't know when I'm going to get a hold of him. And like 15 minutes later, Mikey texts me, oh my God. And I was like, what's up? And I text Brett, you got a hold of him, I see. So Mikey's going to Cedia. And honestly, I said to Brett, I'm like, any one of our listeners would have been awesome at winning that, and Mikey winning it.
We like Mike the best, so
but I'll let it, doing those sweepstakes and stuff isn't exactly easy. You go into with best intentions, and you hope you get somebody that is passionate and loves exactly what you're giving away and you couldn't get a more passionate person than Mikey or any of our listeners, really. Any one of our listeners. That's what's so great about, Brightside here is everybody is like super passionate, and Mikey, he just exemplifies that. And I'm so happy that he's going to be in that room and have that like once in a lifetime bucket list experience that for some dumbass reason I'm part of the prize. It's like I'm listed as part. But yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to see him. He texted me earlier today about getting from the hotel and stuff. And I'm like, I just sat down. I was like, oh crap. And then I just replied to him. But yeah, so I'll see him on Friday out there, and really, really excited for that. So, crap. You just think like you enter these things and like I'll never. And I texted a screen grab to Brett and I said, "Here's our conversation." And the last time Mikey and I had talked, he texted me when he heard about the sweepstakes, right? And he goes, "I never win these things." It literally is like, I'll show you guys later, but it's like, I never win these things, but oh man, I hope I win this. And like the next text, "Oh my God." And that's like 2 weeks later. It was awesome. It's awesome. So I sent that to Brett and I'm like, and now Brett's super excited about it too. He's like, that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted somebody that's so excited about it. And, not somebody just sitting there going, "So, what's an amplifier do?" Are these cables expensive? So yeah, super excited for him, and I can't wait to see him out there. So, anyways, how was your week?
Yeah, how's you, John? I've said what I've been up to.
Yeah, well, great. I sit at home, watch TV.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Although
the goal
hopefully-
in life, just not the way it happens.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be different if I was independently wealthy and I got to sit
Yeah.
at home and watch TV all day. But
Oh,
now I'm home stressing about not having a job all day. So, but yeah, no, it's cool. Life's good.
cool.
Well, there's hope. Hopefully, I mean, obviously, we don't want to jinx it, but hopefully there
Fingers
might be some
crossed.
news.
I may have something in the works this week. So.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, looking good.
Yeah.
All right, shall we say hi to everyone in the chat?
Yes,
Deej?
please. Let's get to that because we are behind, and I know you're actually way behind because you're an hour even later now. So thank you for joining it. 2 hours
that's
later,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
Is it 2 hours later?
It's
or-
it is
11:20 right
yeah, it's
now.
22. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I've got 40
okay.
minutes to midnight. So that's running a bit later, but that's okay. That's okay. So we've got Steve Atts in. Captain is in. We know Captain's in, of course. More about which in a moment. We've got Mikey's in, who we've just been talking about. Paul Hurt's in. Hiya, guys. We've got Van Gool's in. Hiya, Van Gool. And who else do we have? We've got a few others as well. We have Marcus
Lion
Speeds in.
Mage, Dom.
Hi, Marcus, Lion Mage, Dom. Yeah, Dom and I are now on the same time zone. He's up in France.
Nice.
So on someone,
Yep.
Scruffy's in. Bill McAllister's in. Oh, TSG Spartan, not a local boy to me at the moment.
No.
Normally is. Jordan's in. And we've got, a fair few others just dropped in, I saw as well. VJM as well. And then a number of others. Unfortunately, by the way, guys, I'm not live streaming on Twitter or X because I changed my profile picture. They take time to now look at that. So even though we're paying, they still have now suspended
What did you change it to?
whilst they look at it. I only just changed the picture from things. So so now they want to take 5 days to review it. To then decide what they're going to do. Yeah. So Dom says 11 p.m. here, Steve. Yeah, exactly as I am here, Dom, down in Spain. So we're on the same time, mate. Same time. So sorry, I can't live stream it to Twitter, but hopefully next time.
Yeah, that's
Elon.
all right.
Elon.
Hey,
What
yeah.
the heck? Anyway,
that's okay. And speaking of that, checking things out, I got my credentials and everything. I put in late for CEDIA, and I just got all my credentials today, so that's good. Didn't have to go through everything I went through last year, being my first year. I just told them, "It's me," and they said, "Who are you?" I went, I said to them, "This." Oh, okay, yeah.
like, are you the guy we nearly threw out last year for staying late until security came and kicked you out?
I was part of that crew. Proud member.
I'm surprised they let you all back in.
Yeah. Well, I think Brett had to bribe them, but that's okay. That's
Don't say anything. No one will know.
nobody will know. We got a donation this week. We got a $10 box of popcorn from Nick Allen, whom I haven't even replied to yet, and I got it the other day. So sorry, Nick. But yeah, I will reply to him in an email and say thank you. But yeah, we got a box of popcorn, so that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Cheers, Nick.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick. Good man.
Yep. But yeah, so in that, I'm like, you can go to the website, all that stuff. You can buy boxes of popcorn. You can be on Patreon with us. Everybody knows if you listen to podcasts, you know all about that stuff, and we don't really promote it, and that's why we don't
So I see you forgot all about all that while I was gone, huh?
Didn't we? It's like,
You sometimes mentioned it.
yeah, we did a few times, but
You don't even know what it is anymore.
I don't. I'm just like, I feel funny. You know me. I've been telling you that for years.
Yeah. I know.
When I first
You're
signed up,
allergic to money.
John's like, why did you sign up if you're not even going to talk about it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody's gonna find it organically.
They did though. Who was it? It was man. He found it like accidentally. I hadn't even said anything. Oh my! It was like the first day.
Oh, that's right. You were just setting it up.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
Had just finished setting it up.
yeah.
He
I'm
was
sorry.
somebody that already listened to the show.
Yeah, he was listening
yeah.
to the show, and he actually was on a Takeover Tuesday, and he told me, "Oh my God, my mind's going blank. I'm sorry. It's not John Brock. I know that, or Steve Brock. Yeah. So Reginald. So yeah, it was Reggie. So, but yeah, sorry, Reggie. I went blank for a minute there. But yeah, so, and that was pretty cool because I had literally just I just signed up for Patreon the next day. I was like, what the hell? I haven't told anybody.
Wow, this thing's going to work.
I know.
2 years later. It's like,
Reggie.
We still have Reggie.
No. It actually took the first month was really everybody that is big. And then after that, it was, me, John. Yeah. I don't say nothing. Oh, well. But yeah. So, do you want to get to this one right now? Because this is funny.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
Let's take Captain to task.
Yeah, let's have a little bit fun. And in the spirit of trying to keep it fun and lighthearted, let's do it in an English accent. So why don't you read it, Steve?
Okay. Yeah. No. So this was a YouTube comment. This feels Renaissance, doesn't it? It's taking us back a bit, reading readers' comments and stuff. Okay. So this was a YouTube comment left after our last week's show, and it reads as follows. It says, "Okay." This is from Captain AC3, someone who we all know. Says, "Okay, so DJ reads my used to love. Yeah." Okay, so DJ reads my email about Terminator Salvation being an awesome audio experience on Takeover Tuesday. And also, I said I was the only one who seemed to like the movie, admittedly a few weeks ago. And then it appears here and I don't get super duper credit. Okay, I'm done. Rant over. Smiling emoji. Just kidding, fellas. Yeah. So, yeah. I did reply to this because when I saw it, I'm like,
I didn't see your reply. What did you say?
I'll have to read it. I
don't even remember.
I did. I know it was polite-ish. Let me see if I can find it. Give me 2 seconds. No, it was fine. It was. I will tell you now. I read. So Steve George says. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there's another comment dropped in since. I said, oh, wait a sec. She started playing the old show. So I said, hey, Captain, I didn't hear that Takeover Tuesday, and it was me picking it. And I put in brackets in preparation for Terminator Zero, more about which later, hopefully, end brackets, that prompted him to check out Salvation again. Honest, smiley face emoji. And in fairness, he did respond, and he said, of course, Steve, I'm just amazed at times how you pick movies that I only seem to love. Ronin, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, etc. And it's to your credit. It's in no way meant disparaging. Now, if you could just ease up on the slasher type movies, thanks for taking time to reply.
Oh, you're my hero, Captain. You're my hero.
Yeah. I mean, October's on its way, so we know what we're going to get from Steve for the next 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, it'll be romantic comedies during October.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
The rest of the year, it's horror films.
Actually, you did do that last year. We all go into horror movies for October, and then Steve's in
got
with
Love Actually, and
exactly.
Care Bears movie, all that stuff.
Didn't he do a Christmas Oh no! Was it a Christmas Vacation? Oh, that one you did right after your birthday.
Time. Yeah,
because you had said that was a great one.
Christmas
You're well, to be fair, you said I don't watch Christmas movies till after my birthday. You've had quite a few birthdays since 1991.
Right. Paul's got the right idea here.
Yeah, back into martial arts season. Yeah.
But
I think that comes right before the horror movie season. So
yeah,
but it's always martial arts season.
Right.
That's the thing, though. But that's the point. Is like I don't think we get with season. The only time is October for me with the horror. But like what with Captain AC3 here in this comment, what I love about it is, and Steve, you know this from when you first joined, and anybody that has had given us suggestions on having themes and doing this, and it's like this is exactly what to me is what home theater is about. This is what the show's about, and it's like. You go where the inspiration is. And like you said, Steve, it's like I saw it on your list. I'm like, bang, I'm going to watch it. I don't know why it didn't register when I read Captain AC3's and then email. But at the time, it's like, I don't even remember when I'm watching the movie. I don't remember that I talked about Captain AC3. Like, how long ago was that Takeover Tuesday? I'm like, I don't remember. And it's just, but that's the inspiration. And like, how many times have you watched a movie and you'll see an actor in the movie and you're like, oh my God, I haven't seen, and then it triggers another movie. So when that movie ends, you just immediately go to whatever that last, Jeremy Renner movie was. And you're like, oh my God. And you see a different actor in that. And you're like, and you go to that movie. And it's like, that's what makes it fun as opposed to, it's like, it strikes a nerve and then you want to see it. Not you're being told to do it and not, or anything like that. And we get so many ideas from listeners. And sometimes, and I've said this on the show in the past, sometimes they'll have a suggestion like this, Terminator Salvation. And all of a sudden you'll be like, oh my God, I haven't seen, The Machinist. And because it's another, what's his name? Christian Bale movie. And it's like, and I'll come on the show, and especially when I was doing them by myself and doing the shows by myself. And I'll be like, so such and such said this. And like, all of a sudden, and that's why I watched The Machine. And they're like, how the hell does your mind work? He suggested this movie.
He doesn't even know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I have no idea. And my wife was watching one of our friends' kids the other day. They're at the playground, and the little girl, she's 5 years old, looks up at Jen and goes, I don't know why I like DJ so much. Jen texts it to me. I go, tell her nobody does.
Well, it's because we're the same. That's why.
Nobody knows why they like DJ. Like, he's a nut. But yeah. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Oh
man. But it's but also I think those of us who are rabid collectors, and all three of us are, and those in the chat as well. But those that have got kind of rabid collectors who have got quite large collections of movies as well. We are lucky that we can kind of follow that stream of consciousness, can't we? Because we've got that stuff readily available. So Terminator Salvation, as I said, is because of Terminator Zero. Heard it was coming. Look, and then I saw the trailer and I think that looks just like Terminator Salvation. Wow, right. I'm going to go and watch that. And Sam Worthington was in my head anyway, because I just watched two other movies that we might talk about in a bit as well.
Yep.
And it kind of just sort of, and so we can bounce from one to another if you've got that collection to hand. Although if you've got a Netflix subscription and an Amazon Prime one, you can do something similar. But we're quite lucky, I think, that we can just go, oh, I'll see this and I've got that. There it is. And I'll watch this and I'll do that. So it's, we're quite lucky that way, I think. To be able to kind of follow that, as I say, that stream of consciousness, that kind of movie trail. But I suspect, if you believe in the subconscious, and we go back to Lucy, because Lucy did, is that it goes in and you never forget it, and you just kind of it just kind of rattles around in there until it comes out again, and you forget who told you, and on you go.
Yeah.
So it does happen. But anyway,
so that was the nicest way possible you could say that Captain AC3 actually inspired last week's show.
Yeah,
it was just rattling around in our heads, and it was just, because that idea and a marble was in my head, so that's all I had, and it's like, and I ended up there. I was just waiting for the ball to land on the, there you go. All right, Terminator Salvation. Don't forget to eat your dinner.
I like your inner monologue.
Oh no, it's more of a soliloquy, but okay.
It just sounds like there's Yogi Bear in there, but it's fine.
It's like, I take out the echo for the show.
Actually, Van Gool says, I just picked up the Lucy Steelbook. I didn't know there was a Steelbook for Lucy.
I didn't either.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, well, there we go. Well, prepare yourself for awesomeness, Van Gool. Don't watch it on your iPhone. Can't imagine anyone would do such a thing.
Yeah. Who would do that?
Make such a critical judgment call.
At least I admit when I was wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's the key.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You want to get to this one right here? Did you see this one, Steve? Did you
Yeah,
see it
yeah,
yet?
yeah.
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen
I
it.
didn't.
I
This
saw.
is Steve's,
I
isn't
haven't
it? Or
seen
is that mine?
all of it.
That's mine.
Yeah, that's you.
Oh.
Yeah, that's. I haven't
Yeah.
seen all of it yet, but I've seen
neither.
3 of these 8.
Why don't we put it
yeah.
up? So
Let's-
Yeah.
everybody knows what we're talking about.
Oh no, let's keep them guessing. It's like, all right, here we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there is some discussion to be had here about various things on this. Do you guys want to jump in on it first? Do you want me to jump in? I
Obviously, we're talking Terminator Zero, the Netflix series.
Inspired by Captain AC3. No.
Captain, yes, brought to you by Captain AC3.
Don't forget.
He sent a subliminal email to Netflix about 2 years ago, and it's just coming to fruition
Greenlit.
today. Yeah, exactly. Subliminal email. So it was typed backwards, with a lot of references to odd old movies. And but yeah, so no, this one, did you guys get it? I got it in HD. I didn't have time to double check.
It's only HD and 5.1. There's no 4K.
Yeah.
There's no
Dolby Vision, weirdly though.
Yeah.
If you have
Dolby Vision
yep.
HD,
Which I had.
5.1.
I
That's
did have
nice.
Dolby Vision.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah. Oh, lost him. Deej is down.
He's gone.
Yeah, that's it. There we go. That's it. Skynet has terminated him.
Exactly.
They come back.
Is it
from the-
August 29th already? No,
Yeah,
it was
so
4
it's
days
just
ago.
gone.
Yeah.
They managed to delay Judgment Day by 4 days.
Which is awesome that the show premiered on August 29th, by the way.
It is. Yes,
Like,
it was.
what a
Kinda
coincidence. Yeah, that it premiered on that day.
creepy. Yeah, it was. It was kind of weird. I was watching it and thinking, ooh, bearing in mind I was due to fly like the next day.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of like, whoa, this is a little bit too close for comfort. I'm not, so what the hell? Hey, Deej,
I'm
you all right?
Yeah.
I
Almost
was
like
like
somebody
Skynet had
planned that.
terminated you. Yeah.
I went to swipe like this, and I swiped on the because,
Disconnect.
like, no, I swipe. So what I did is I accidentally did that same swipe on the I didn't know the arrow was on this, like the page that that I'm on for the show. And when you swipe, it just goes to the last page. I'm like, oh, son of a. So I had to enter the studio again. So
So we definitely thought you'd been terminated.
But yeah, so I was only swiping to show. Oh, see, and I'm showing everybody what I'm showing, and I lost the share screen file. So, duh.
Yeah, it's not up anymore.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So here we go. Share screen. So if you
Yeah,
look
that's
there,
mine,
I
isn't
think
it? That's mine.
in this
Yeah.
is this Dolby Vision, HD Dolby Vision, which is pretty
Yeah, there you
cool.
go. Mhm.
That was a long way to go to just show you Dolby Vision written on the screen.
It's just a bit weird though. I'm a bit
really.
disconcerted with Dolby Vision with 1080p 5.1. Just kind of feels weird. It's like
It's
I don't know.
not though. It's not. That's
Yeah.
actually the way it should be, because most people's televisions, the majority of televisions are below 70 inches. So anything below that, you're really not. It's not a perceivable difference between 4K and 1080. So save the bandwidth, and if you can do HD or HDR in 1080, and not only that, have Dolby Vision, which is going to tone map the television to give you the best possible picture for your television, why not? The 1080 is just the amount of pixels it takes to make the picture. The bigger the screen, the more pixels you want, but anything under 70 is imperceivable. So
Yeah, it just feels weird. It's like
yeah.
having it's like taking a Ferrari shopping. It just kind of feels like you've got the kind of the highest tech and you're not kind of utilizing it. It just feels weird. But I get it. And believe you me, I wish Netflix would put something up that just says, yeah, we know it's not 4K and it's not Atmos, because that would save time.
Yeah, because honestly, I switched the language thinking that the Japanese might have Dolby Vision.
Nope.
Because that's a lot of times how it goes, but it did not. So
you mean Dolby Atmos?
I mean, yeah, Atmos, right?
Yeah. I did the
so
same thing.
I did switch back to English because being animated, you don't notice it as much.
And it's got real actors.
And
Not
right,
real
and I
actors,
remembered
but
Steve
all
saying
actors
that-
we know.
Steve said that they had an actual proper voice.
Yes, Timothy
cast.
Oliphant and others. But I see.
What's
see,
her
I-
name?
Rosario,
Ahsoka.
So Rosario
Yeah,
Dawson,
Rosario
right?
Dawson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't
Yeah,
feel
'cause
bad
I did
watching
the same
it in
thing.
English. I normally
I-
don't do that. I normally will always watch the original language, but
I think the let me make sure I don't do that. I think the home theater experience of this though, really good. I think. I mean, I'm sitting there. There is a ton of discrete use of the channels. Like not even a pan. Like you'll hear somebody knocking in any back corner, either of the back corners. You'll hear things happening. Then it moves to the front. It does pan, but there's a lot of nice, discrete sound, even though it's 5.1. And for some reason, I think, John, I think you had it in your notes that it's PCM or whatever. So it's not your typical type 5.1. So when it first started on my Marantz, I had to actually, it was new. I hadn't used it in that one. I hadn't programmed it to upmix automatically. So I did listen to it in 5.1. I'm like, oh, this isn't too good. I'm like, it's not great. It's not bad. It's pretty good. And then I was like, wait a minute. It's only coming on the diagram. It tells me on my phone how many speakers are being utilized. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm only using 5.1. So I upmix and the room just comes like the bass got everything just went, opened up the room and everything, and really, really changed the experience to, I did bump it 2.5 above reference. And I just wanted to give it a little more punch, but it is really, really good. Tons of discrete sounds, very engaging. And I think for an HD, I think the picture is fantastic for animation. Especially when they switch between the different styles of animation. Like some of it is like, looks hyper realistic. And then other looks more like, what do you call it, John? Like manga or something, or like Ghost in the Shell type thing. Yeah. So, I thought there's a lot of depth to the picture. I'm thinking of one particular scene when they're like, they're in like a shop or something, and there's like a haze. It like the lighting and everything. It looks like it's a little not foggy, but it's like you could tell like it's a humid shop or something. And I'm like, for an animated feature like that to get that level of detail, and then it fades out, like it gets darker when they go in. I thought it's really good. What do you guys think?
I would, go on, John. Do you want to do your?
Well, I was just going to say, it makes me wonder if my audio was not being upmixed, and I never noticed it, because I remember commenting to Steve that I didn't think the HD experience was that great on this. I mean, the picture was good, obviously, but I didn't think the sound was great. But as I kept listening, or I kept watching, I tried to listen harder, and I did hear some surround sound effects, but I didn't get the my room came alive sensation like you just said. So maybe I didn't listen to it in upmix. Maybe it was only 5.1. I'm just so used to my system automatically upmixing everything that I didn't even check. All that being said, it wasn't terrible, obviously, but now I have to go back and throw an episode on just to see what my system defaults to, just so I can know. But I honestly, for me, it was serviceable. Like I didn't think it was like, it didn't blow me away at all as far as the sound goes. And so maybe I didn't have it set correctly. I don't know. I'll double check, but didn't take away from my enjoyment of the show at all, though. Like having all the time, I finished it. So unlike you guys, I've seen all 8 episodes. So I know, done, but I know what happens with it.
I tried to fit in 3 before I came away, because I thought, well, I can't. I mean, I've got a portable projector that I brought with me, but I can't obviously put that into Dolby Atmos or anything like that. Right. So I thought, well, I'll make sure I watch 3 before I come away. And I thought the picture is decent. I wanted 4K though, and I wanted HDR, and I wanted what I didn't get. And so I think my expectations were higher than they should have been. So the first episode, I was a little bit kind of, disappointed with the picture. It wasn't kind of as dynamic as I thought it was going to be, wasn't as sharp. It was anime. It was exactly as I kind of anticipated that this would look like if it's not in 4K, et cetera, et cetera. So by the time I got to the episode 2, I was more in tune with how it looked. And again, funny enough, Deej, I was thinking about those reds again, what we talked about in Salvation, how the reds pop. They do that again in this, because in this, the Terminators inexplicably can make their eyes turn red, even when their eyes have, they haven't lost
even when they're not dead.
The retina, which is a bit weird. But those reds do pop, and so that was kind of cool. And I kind of got with it a lot more from episode 2 onwards. So I think the picture quality was serviceable. I wasn't blown away. I think I'm kind of more with John on that in terms of my experience of it. I liked it. Thought it was good, but there's nothing in there that I would drag someone into the room and go, look at that. And I want to do that. on occasions where, with especially with stuff like this, to just drag a passerby in and go, just check this out. And I wouldn't do that with the video. Now the audio, mine did upmix. It was PCM as well, but my receiver just automatically kicks it into Dolby Surround. So I had an object-based upmix, as it were. And what I found was there was lots and lots of dialogue in the rear channels, which is quite unusual. There was actually noticeably entire discussions, conversations had between the front and the rear of the room, which was nice, and that did at least engage me more. And I thought it was quite good fun. So there's quite a bit of that, which is good news. And if you didn't get that, John, then I think try and upmix it. So I think you might get more to it than that.
I remember that conversation too. It's in one of the earlier episodes, and you're like, this is pretty cool. It's like, because somebody says something from the back of the room or something, and you're like, wow, that was appropriate, like so appropriate, like that it worked really, really well.
So there's quite a bit of that. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I think the story's really good. I'm enjoying the story. I think I know where it's going to go, but I'm enjoying it. I think that there's a couple of twists that seem to be very signposted, and I'm sort of thinking, okay. And
I like what John's saying though, because
quite. Hopefully
I agree. I love the story so far. I like what John just said there. But I also think, like, throughout this, there are a ton of nods to the movies. Literal like scenes from the movies in different, they reenact it in a different way, and you're like, oh my God, that's that scene, right? And it's cool. It's almost like they took all of the movies and made a series out of all of the movies in a different story by rejumbling all these scenes. Right. And so I like what John's saying there, because if you're thinking like I am the whole way through, that you're like, all right, I've seen this, I see this, you figure it out. And then they change something and you're like, oh, cool. This is awesome. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I don't want to give any spoilers away, because I'm sure a lot of people haven't seen it. But I really thought, almost halfway through it, that it was just a sort of almost boring rehash of T2, but then it goes way away from that. So it's got some surprises for you.
I think I've spotted a clear time loop and identity of two of the same character and that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, it's pretty clear. But I'm definitely going to finish it. And funnily enough, in the next couple of nights, if I'm up late enough, and I'm going to project the image onto the wall behind me, this picture up here can be removed.
Nice.
And there's a big gap in between the lights, and there is a perfect position the other side of the room to put the projector on, right next to a socket. So, and if I move this couch I'm on round, I can just put up about 160-inch screen. Nice. So that's the plan, albeit only through these. So I'll only have spatial audio. But
Steve won't plug a subwoofer back in, but he brings a sledgehammer and a projector and redoes the room while he's on vacation.
It's got to be done. I'm more confident doing that. Yeah, priorities. That's exactly that.
This place, people come back in and there's two couches arranged with theater seating, the blank space on the wall.
I actually think you'll get pretty good sound out of those. Those headphones are awesome. So
they
I've watched a lot of shows at night, while Lydia's asleep, and you get some pretty good surround through those things.
But I can't say that to Deej. Immersion. I can't say that to Deej. That's just between you and me. Okay. I say that to Deej, and he rolls his eyes and then tuts at me and says it's not Atmos.
Well, it's not, but
no, but
but when your ears are shaking and your head's vibrating while you're watching things, it's still pretty immersive.
And then John realizes he doesn't have headphones on; it's just the cookies.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa,
my head's just vibrating on its own.
TV's not even on yet. Because I'll be using mine tomorrow when I'm flying out. I used mine on vacation. It's like I got to charge them up. I love them. They're awesome.
They are ludicrously good on planes in particular.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the noise cancelling on this is just bananas. Oh, yeah. You could. I mean, I used it again. I mean, I did a couple of years ago when I was here last time. I was talking about them then, but I used them this time as well. What was I watching? I don't know, I can't remember something anyway. And I just tap this button, and it's like the plane has just stopped in midair. Yeah. But you can't hear the engines anymore. They've gone. Yep. And because it's that droning sound as well, which noise cancelling just seems to be
perfect for.
Yeah, it just removes it. It's like you're in a library.
Yeah.
apart from the fact the plane was jumping around, you'd think that it was that you were on the ground. Yeah, it's very
Oh,
very
yeah.
cool. So I'm hoping to watch Borderlands in the next couple of days because it's up now, isn't it, to rent
Yep.
online.
I
So
got
I'm
it.
gonna
So
give that a go.
Let me, with that segue, I got to get to this. I want to get this done, get this over with. I had two choices: Borderlands or
Okay. Yes.
oh
Yes.
my Trap. So
Trap. Sorry. Or
Trap. M. Night Shyamalan, which I love his movies. My theater is like based off of his theater that he had in like 2000, 2001, where he had a rear projection television in the wall to make it look like a flat screen. I did the same thing, used the same television. I love M. Night, right? Who doesn't? He has he has some great movies. So I saw the trailer for this when I went to the movies this summer with my daughter, and I was like, oh my God, this looks awesome. So it's, it says it right here, Trap. It's in the title, people. This is going to be spoilers because this movie is, and here's the spoiler, probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Oh, okay.
Probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Worse than Moonfall.
Oh,
Worst story.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
Home theater experience wasn't very good either. The HDR wasn't anything to write home about, and it was basically takes place at a concert where you could really have some good dynamics. I wasn't impressed at all. Audio wasn't impressive enough to make me go, okay, the audio is pretty good. It wasn't a silent film, I'll say that. But it was the story on this. It's like, here, I'll read exactly the synopsis that's on like your Kaleidoscape. It says, Trap, a pop star's concert with his daughter. At a pop star's concert with his daughter, a man enters into a tense game of cat and mouse with his would-be captors. And then if you read like the posters or anything, or you watch the trailer, it's like he's a serial killer that they set it up at a concert to catch him. That's the story. That's the end of the movie. Boom. That's it. There's nothing, and it's the most ridiculous things that he's like, it's so dumb. And I'm saying, like, I don't even care if I spoil it, because at one point he's got floor seats with his daughter, and a guest star for the concert that they're at comes up out of the floor next to him, and he's like, I got to get backstage to escape, right? So there's a hole in the floor right next to them, and he looks at his daughter at a concert, and his daughter's like, like she's seeing the Beatles, like crying, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. And he goes, hey, look, a hole in the floor. Want to go down there? And she goes, no. Why not? I'm like, that was the premise of this entire movie was probably good. They executed it so bad. It was so bad. It's like, it was horrible. And then, so what did he say? The twist.
It got you to see the movie.
Yeah. And it was like, it was horrible. It was like and that's the thing. It's like, there's no twist whatsoever. And it's like, I watched one of the things on IMDb, me and my wife, and I'm like, look at this. Look at what they said. It's like, I'm like, they go into all of like the mind of a serial killer and everything. And like, none of that's in the movie. It's like, who cares? It was just horrible. I didn't get it at all. What have you guys heard about it?
Well,
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. But funny enough, this is the second review this week that I've had from someone that I know that says it's absolutely dreadful. And someone who I've mentioned before on the show, but took the trouble to text me down here and say, I've just seen this film and what an absolute pile of what it is. So that's the second, as I said, he actually took the trouble to text to say, I've just seen it. It was absolute, Trap was crap, to quote Lion Mage. So do I need to see it then, Deej?
No.
No.
Right,
good. Okay.
No.
Cool. Good.
And you know what? It's like, should I tell? There's no spoiler. I could tell. There's no twist. I can tell you the end. And it's so ridiculous that I'd rather just tell you. So I'm going to say it. And if you're listening and you don't want to hear it, jump ahead like a minute, because I'm about to tell you the end of it.
All right,
here we go.
Close your ears.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so dumb. That's the thing.
We'll wave.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's like you're like waiting on an M. Night movie to have a twist to pay off, and there isn't, and there's nothing. They capture him. He's coming out in leg irons and everything, and he's like, his wife goes, "Don't shoot him," and he bends down, and it's supposed to be a subtle moment, and he like, or not a subtle moment, like an emotional moment. He picks his a girl's bicycle up, which I don't think is his daughter because it's way too small. He picks up this pink bicycle and he straightens it up because it was on its side. Now all right, that was sweet. They put him in the paddy wagon. The paddy wagon's going down the road. They go to the back of it, and then they go to the bicycle and show you that there's a spoke missing from the bicycle. He pulls the spoke out of his hands, and the screen goes to his face, and he has a big smile on it. So the big twist is there's going to be a sequel to this pile of crap? It's like he's going to escape? That's the M. Night twist? This is stupid. I was so mad, as you can tell. I was like, what the hell? I waited 2 hours for he took a spoke off a bike. It's like, no. And it's like, I'm seeing people, don't spoil the movie. I'm like, trust me, if you got to the end, you'd be like, there's no spoiler. It's like, it was a dumb movie. Nothing happened. It's like, if there was a twist, that'd be a spoiler. It was horrible.
Thank you for saving me the trouble then, because I definitely won't waste my time with that. Did you see, because I know John and I saw it and we both really enjoyed his last movie, Knock at the Cabin Door. Have you seen that yet, Deej? Or is that one you're saving for Halloween?
What's that?
Knock at the Cabin Door? Yeah, Knock at the Cabin Door. That was Shyamalan's last movie, which we both enjoyed, didn't we, John? We both talked about that. Is that pretty good?
No, that's the one with Dave Bautista, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah,
that one is well worth seeing. That's when there is a couple and a young daughter in the woods in a cabin. There is fun enough, knock at the door, and there are 4 people there who say, "You have to do what we tell you, or else." And what happens then is just kind of how it all unfolds. It's incredibly tense, incredibly difficult to watch in the right way. And whilst there's not particularly a twist in that either, it's a very, very well done movie. So that is one I'd definitely suggest you watch. These. That'll get you back on the M. Night train. I think you'll enjoy that.
Yeah. But he's allowed to have a bad one. I'm not mad at him in particular.
What, he's had a bad few?
Yeah. It's they can't all be perfect.
Yeah, Van Gool says I enjoyed Old that he did. I've only seen Old once. I've got the 4K disc. I found Old to be really unsettling. I enjoyed it in terms of I found it very, very difficult to watch in exactly the way that I think Shyamalan wants you to find it difficult to watch, especially the stuff with the baby. I found that very, very hard to kind of get to process. But I thought it was a really good film, that one. Yeah. So yeah, his last 2 have been good. This one I had some hope for, but not anymore. I mean, between you, Deej, you would have been enough to put me off it. But this a friend of mine saying it as well, and he's someone who's that's fine. I'm quite happy to never see that. So Jordan, that's absolutely fine.
Jordan in the chat, I won't read it out, but Jordan in the chat saying there actually is a twist in Trap, and I know what he's talking about. It wasn't enough. That's not even a twist to me. That's just part of the story. It was just like, and you were like, yeah, of course. All right. That was, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not that big of a deal. And he even says an apparent twist, but it's not. It's the entire movie. The entire premise is just dumb. Like, actually, the premise isn't dumb. I think you could make this movie. You could have, and that's why I was excited to see it. But I just think they failed. So, that's it on that.
Rich is coming in late. It says, "Did you get to New Zealand yet for your vacation?" No. I'm in Spain, Rich. A little bit closer to New Zealand than New Zealand, but yeah, still very nice here. Thank you very much for asking.
Yeah. What do we want to do next, guys?
Roll the dice here. I've got a few there. I definitely want to hear what John's got to say about one of those in particular.
Which one? This?
The next one. I mean, obviously John's choice, but that one I really want to hear about.
Yeah,
because that's one.
You want to do this one now?
Yeah, we can.
You're right. Yeah, go on, John. Tell me everything. Tell me more,
and give me a chance to breathe.
All right. So this was The First Omen. I watched this on streaming. Now here in the States, it's on Hulu. without Dolby Atmos,
Oh,
but I have the VPN, so I connected to the UK and I watched this on Disney Plus, and I got Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, and all the proper codecs. So this is a prequel for those that don't know to the Omen. What do I say about this movie?
I loved it.
It
Be nice.
I didn't love it. I didn't mind it. Now, to be fair, I had to take this in 2 chunks. I watched this. I watched about half of it, and then I got a text from my wife that she was coming home from work early. And well, actually, I was about half hour into it when she texted me. She got home. I was about halfway through it. This is not her type of movie at all, so I turned it off. And at that point in the film, I didn't care if I ever got back to it. Like it wasn't really pulling me in. Now, as far as the stream itself and the quality, again, I don't know what a 4K disc of this would be like, but I found the stream to be pretty good. There was a lot of Dolby Atmos effects, even in the beginning of this movie. But I feel like the at least for me, the first half of it was a little slow, and it wasn't really pulling me in. And I almost didn't come back to it, but luckily I did. I came back a couple of days later. I was sitting there again. I have nothing to do. So I was like, oh, let me go back and finish this movie. The second half of it really did come together a bit more for me. And I did end up liking the movie. I'm not going to say overall that I loved it. Like, I didn't think it was awesome. Definitely, to me, isn't of the like. I like the Omen. I think the Omen, the original Omen. Now, again, it's a product of its time. Nowadays, it doesn't really hold up 50 years later. But growing up, that movie always freaked me out. Like, I always thought it was really tense and pretty creepy. And this one really didn't do it for me in the same way. But it had a couple twists that I didn't actually see coming. And overall, now, have you seen it and you were waiting to hear what I thought, Steve, or have you not seen it at all?
Oh yeah, I've done it on the show.
Oh,
I've
okay.
talked about it on the show. Yeah.
Yes, I didn't catch them all. Yeah, some of the twists I didn't see coming, and I think overall I liked it, but I didn't love it, and it sounds like you liked it a little bit more than I did, Steve. But yeah, I felt like it took a while to pull me in and to get going for me.
Yeah.
So
I think because with me, I think it was a movie that was not necessary. At least I didn't think we needed a prequel to The Omen, because I love the original as well, and 2 and 3 not quite so much, but I do like them a lot. And they're quite a fun trilogy. And so I didn't think we needed this prequel. And when I went into watching it, I wasn't expecting much at all, and yet was blown away because I got way more than I expected, and realized actually there was a story they were trying to tell, which I thought was good. And again, talking about a movie with a twist, I like the fact that this is kind of good doing evil. I quite like that kind of anachronistic approach. I quite like that. But what I particularly liked, I thought the video and the audio were very good. I was really surprised.
And you had the disc, or you streamed it?
No, this was the stream. This was on Disney Plus.
Yeah, because I found it to be pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of scenes which we talked about before. There was a scene kind of halfway through the movie in that dark room where there's something going on in the corner, and on a non-calibrated display, it's just pitch black. You just can't see what that is. But on a well-calibrated display, you can see the movement and see what is going on in that corner, which I thought was great for a stream anyway. And I loved the audio. I thought the Atmos stuff in this was bonkers. It's just
like I said, really creepy. Coming from all over. Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, I really like that. But since then, as Jordan mentions in the chat, actually, it has come out here on a Blu-ray physical release, which I've now got. I picked that up since. I haven't had a chance to rewatch it yet, which I'm looking forward to doing. But I really enjoyed it for a movie we didn't need, a story I didn't want. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was great for giving you something you just didn't realize you needed, because this could have been absolute dross, complete nonsense. But I really did like it for what it was. So I am looking forward to seeing it again. And when you put this up earlier in the week, I was like, I need to know what he thought about it.
Is it Blu-ray with Atmos or no?
Do you know what? Jordan might have to help me with that. I think it's DTS HD.
Okay.
That's pure guess. I think so. But it's just at least we've got a physical release of it. But yeah, help me out with that, Jordan, if you can. I haven't got the disc here. Normally, I'd have it to hand, but I can't reach 1,500 miles.
Yeah.
Even my arm's not that long.
Yeah, what is it? 1,200 you can reach? It's just-
Yeah.
just
Well,
that-
that's
just
it.
at the end
I
of your
don't like to
fingertip,
brag.
right, Steve?
Yeah, I don't
exactly.
like to brag.
It's like, use the force.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that. Yeah. So it's so
Hey,
yeah.
Captain
no,
AC3, what was that a reference to?
He's never going to comment again. Like, we want to foster engagement on our channels, DJ, not discourage it.
You
like
missed
to
that
do
whole
both.
show, I guess.
I guess.
He still shows up. The fact he still shows up, it's like that was mild.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my God.
yeah, I know, good. But that's one Deej for you to watch with Jen when you can. Because I know you like the.
I already own it. I already
of
own
course
it.
you do.
Yeah, I have it on
So
Kaleidoscape in 4K
that's a
with
Halloween one, I
Atmos.
think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I almost watched it a few times. Just skipping through it. Thanks, John. Oh.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
no, very cool.
We don't want to be too gentle because
Yeah, like I said, overall, definitely worth
the
the
head. It's shocking.
like I said, definitely worth a watch, especially if you're a fan of the franchise. And yeah, like I said, I didn't see a couple of the twists coming, but yeah.
Best not to watch it with anyone that's pregnant or who's recently given birth, because there's some stuff in this. There's some ick in this.
There is.
It would not be for a first-time expectant mother. This is not the movie to watch because she's
Oh
not
my
going to
God.
thank you for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Dolby
Thanks for that.
Digital.
No,
there we
I'll
go.
make sure not to invite anybody like that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay. All right. Brilliant. Thanks. So, all right. Dolby Digital Plus 7.1. What is the
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just weird. So yeah. Presumably it's Dolby. Yeah.
Dolby
It's gotta be-
Digital Plus
It's got
7.1.
to be True HD.
True HD. I don't think
7.1 is
Plus
gotta be.
goes to 7.1, does it? I've never heard of
No.
that.
I mean, it'll
Yeah.
definitely upmix, right?
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
upmix it anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be True HD 7.1.
Yeah,
Do you know what?
lossless.
I've got it on my. I don't have to reach, but I've got it on my.
There you
there
go.
it is.
Here
From
we
the-
go.
the My Movies
Steve's
thing.
getting frustrated. I need to know.
I do need to
Acquiring
know. I do.
minds need to know.
You can tell. In fact, you can tell I've been out of the country for a few days because the My Movies app is like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, exactly. Where are you?
Are you still there?
Hello.
No, man. Do you know what? No. Do you know what? It says here. Jordan's right. Dolby Digital Plus 7.1.
Wow.
And then it says German DTS HD MA 7.1. Yeah, that can't be right. That's just a wrong thing, isn't it? On the
That's.
box,
I
that
didn't
can't be
think
right.
Dolby Digital Plus would go to 7. Like you're going to go with
Yeah.
Lossy to 7.1.
Yeah,
like that
that's
Doesn't. Yeah, that's weird. That's
when
weird.
I get back, I'll try it out and we'll see because
Yeah.
it'll come up as true. It's got to be True HD. It's got to be.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
no sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, Jordan's right. That's exactly what it says on the box.
That's what
in
it says
fact.
there, yeah.
So, yeah. Oh man. Okay, that's weird.
Can only go by
alright.
the facts. So,
Just the facts, man.
Just the
Just
facts.
the facts.
let's see. What do we got? Oh, what do we? Oh, yeah, the first one. Pull that down. Steve, what do you got here? You want to do?
Roll the dice. Pick one. I'll do it. Doesn't matter whatever one it is. There's a few there from before I went. Yeah, let's do these two then, Deej. Let's start with Clash first, and then we'll get to this one for reasons that will become clear.
Is that
So
it?
Clash
What's
is that's the
You've
got that.
Is that
it's
Clash?
no,
That's not
that's
Clash.
another one.
What
have a look,
Clash?
have a look.
Oh, there it is. Gotcha.
Yeah, got
Goes
it.
Up,
Got it.
up above. There
Okay.
we go.
Yeah,
Here
there's a reason
we
for this.
There's a reason for this.
All right, so Sam Worthington yet again.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we have here then is we'll do these two. So we have Clash of the Titans, not the really good one with Ray Harryhausen. This is the 2009 maybe, something like that, remake with Sam Worthington, and also then Wrath of the Titans, which is 2011, I think, something like that. That's just off the top of my head, both of which were released in a 2-pack. It's an Arrow release 2-pack 4K special edition remaster. So, and both of them were in obviously 4K HDR and DTS HD MA 5.1, not Dolby Digital Plus. And we'll be glad to know. Now, these movies, it's interesting because before I had this set, and I've seen both of these films a number of times, and I'd forgotten just how many times I'd seen the second one, but I'd seen these movies a number of times. And had you asked me before I rewatched them after all this time, I would have told you the first one of the two is the better of the two, and the second one is pretty poor. And but they are what they are, and it's worth kind of picking them up. However, having watched them, my opinions have reversed to the point where this one has not aged well at all, and is actually pretty poor, and is not that great an HD experience either. But the second one is a different story, and that's Wrath of the Titans. Yeah, so Clash of the Titans has it follows the Clash of the Titans follows the 81 version more or less, and it's okay. It's just everybody in there. You've got Liam Neeson, Sam Worthington. You've got Pete Postlethwaite in there, which must have been one of his last roles. You've got Rafe Fiennes, not Ralph, giving it his all as Hades. And I think Gemma Arterton's in the first one as well in Clash. And it's just, the acting is dreadful. And I had forgotten how bad it was. And everyone in it, and I'm careful how I say this, everyone in it is giving very good thespian. Careful how I say it. And they're all kind of emoting ridiculously. Liam Neeson's terrible in this. In the first one, I mean, in particular, they're all deciding to give it John Gielgud levels of delivery of his lines, apart from Ray Fiennes, who decides to do everything like this for reasons that are not clear. So it's terrible, the first one, and was really hard to watch.
Ray Fiennes was channeling Liam Neeson? Like,
well, I don't know, maybe he just had a really bad head cold. I don't know. But it's just weak as anything. So the first one, and again, I can't even particularly recommend it for an HT point of view, because there was only really one incident, sort of sequence in it, where there are these giant, very CG scorpions that are attacking the group, and one of these scorpions screeches. When it screeches, that goes right around the room, that fills the room. But other than that, it was pretty weak and was just kind of doesn't look that great, doesn't sound that great, and the acting's atrocious. So what am I doing here? And I almost at that point regretted buying the set. I thought, oh no. But then I put on Wrath of the Titans the next night, fearing the worst. And that one, who's still got most of the same actors in it.
Steve sits down in front of his screen and he's like,
I'm going to hate this.
Yeah, well, I'd spent $40 on it, so I needed to get my money's worth. So I thought, well, I'll give this a go. But I am pleased to say, actually, the film is nonsense. But all the actors have clearly decided, because they're all still in it. You've still got Liam Neeson, you've still got Ray Fiennes in it. They've all obviously decided to tone it down a little bit. And so you get a slightly more interesting story. But also what is good, and it involves, the story involves them trying to prevent Tartarus, who was kind of Zeus's father, from emerging from the underworld and all this stuff. So there's some quite cool Greek mythology going on in this. But what is good is it looks amazing. This is now switched from 235 to 185, so it fills the screen. And the audio in this is constantly active. So when they're in the underworld, there's all the echoes and everything else. When there are these big flying creatures, they move right around the room, and it upmixes beautifully to Neural X. And there's this ginormous battle towards the end where you've got big fireballs coming right over the screen. You've got giant titans, clues in the title, wrathing. Just stomping around and all this stuff, and it does sound genuinely really, really good. And Wrath of the Titans is the reason to buy this set, because it's not available separately. If it was separate, I'd say get that, but it's the reason to buy this set. This is one of those movies where you would say to people, actually, come and check this out, because any part of this movie is a demo sequence. It's really, really good. And in terms of hype bits, there's a thing with some giants that are attacking, and as they're walking through the trees, they're talking to each other, and all that's in the overheads. So you've got dialogue in the overheads, which is unusual. So I really enjoyed Wrath of the Titans way more than I expected. So Clash, not so much. This one was decent. And I recommend getting the set just for this one. And if you like the other one as well, then happy days. But it is worth seeing. I really did enjoy this. I don't know if it's out over there. I don't know if it's kind of got a release in the US or whether it was just the UK. But yeah, it was decent. So yeah, just looking.
I haven't seen these in maybe a little while ago. I think did we talk about him, John, a couple of years
I
ago?
don't think so, because I don't know if I've seen this since it first hit cable, first hit HBO in 2012 or whenever it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you might have had I mean, I've got the 3D Blu-rays, and I had the original Blu-rays, and then I've got the 3D discs of both of these, and so I've seen them a number of times,
Right.
but not for a long time. But I would get rid of the 3D ones. These are the versions to see. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's worth it.
I mean, it's out over here. The Wrath of the Titan. Oh, no release date. No, it's not. Sorry. No, Dolby
Is
Vision
the
says
two-pack
no
not
release
out
date.
here?
Arrow 2012, Wrath of the Titans 4K Blu-ray. No release date. I'm not seeing anything for it on Blu-ray.com. Yeah.
I mean, it'll cost an arm and a leg to import it. Bearing in mind, there's 2 of the movies on there, so I wouldn't recommend spending. Don't go spending $70-80 on this. Don't go doing that because then you'll blame me, and I don't want that.
Who said they just bought it? Van Gool bought it at Barnes and Nobles. So it must
Did
be
he?
out. Yeah,
Do you
it
say
must
it in
be
the
out
chat?
here.
See in
Yeah,
the
he's
chat?
got it up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
50% off. So presumably 20, $25, I guess, right?
The 2-pack of the 4K or Blu-ray?
I don't know. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah, 'cause
4K
I'm
because that's
looking
what we were talking about.
Because I'm seeing Blu-ray.com saying Wrath of the Titans 4K pre-order to be notified when it comes out, and they're saying no release date. That's what Blu-ray is saying. So I'm just looking at
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't seen that.
But
That's
like I
a
said,
4K Blu-ray from Arrow, but I don't
Yeah.
even see when I scroll down. You can see other versions of it. I don't see it down there. Box set 4K one bundle. Okay, there it is. Oh, August 20th it came out here. There you go.
Okay.
There's the bundle. Just
Pretty
found it.
recent.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Okay,
August
so
20th,
yeah.
4K. It is out as from Arrow. That's funny. They don't have okay. So you can buy that. It is $64.99 over here on Amazon.
No, 65.
That's a lot.
65.
That is a
Yeah,
lot.
so but
$64.99.
50% off, it's $32.50, something like that, right? That's
Which
not
is
bad.
There
which
it
is
is.
which is for one really good film and one okay movie, not too bad. But yeah, okay. But yeah, so
So
I'm
there it
certainly
is.
going to keep them in the collections. Yeah, there it is. That's all I have to say
There
about
you
that.
go. That's all we had to say about that. Okay, Forrest.
Yeah.
Let's see. I really want to hear about this one.
I said, can you do the perfect segue? Nope, that's not it.
No. Okay.
That's not
hang
the perfect segue.
on. Which would that be?
My other one.
This?
Yes,
All right.
that's the perfect segue.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see how perfect.
All right. So this is Chaos, brand new series on Netflix, just dropped last Friday. This has all the stuff, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, 4K. This is a modern day retelling of basically the Greek mythology.
Ooh.
Jeff Goldblum plays Zeus, and that's really all you need to know about this show.
Really?
Yeah, he is phenomenal as the king of the gods. This show is wild. I really liked it. Lydia again didn't like it so much. She bowed out after episode 5 or so. I finished the last 3 by myself. Yeah, this takes all the characters from Greek mythology, puts them into 2024. So imagine a current day world where people believe in the existence of the gods and still worship the Olympian gods. I thought this was great as far as the story and the show. The HT experience. Now, again, this isn't an action spectacle or anything like that. So there's no crashes, gunshot, there's none of that stuff, but there was a lot of discrete Atmos. I thought it looked awesome. The Dolby Vision with 4K, it looked great. Again, as far as Netflix productions go, it's up there with some of their better ones in terms of video quality and audio quality. But it's worth it for the watch alone. Like if you like Greek mythology at all, you've got to check this show out. And again, Jeff Goldblum is Zeus. So
Awesome.
nothing else needs to be said.
Oh my God. That's
it's really good. Hopefully season 2, it definitely sets up for a season 2. Hopefully we get that. The only other actor I really recognized of note, and I don't even know his name, but he played Stannis Baratheon in Game of Thrones, and he plays Oh, why can't I think of his name all of a sudden? Gave fire to the humans.
Prometheus.
Prometheus. He plays Prometheus.
Perseus.
Yeah.
I knew it was a P.
Yeah, he plays Prometheus. And
Yeah.
he's great as well. So really, really worth a watch.
So Jeff
Oh.
Goldblum better than Russell Crowe.
Yes.
Don't start, dude. Don't start.
I thought Steve's face.
That comedy Greek accent or whatever it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
haunts me to this day.
I love that's how you recognize the delay between like when I make a comment and you see like
He's just so deflated.
Yes.
you can see like how long it takes to get, and it's not very long.
No.
Oh, the power of the internet.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else chiming in chat, so I don't know that anybody else has watched this.
I never
like I said,
heard of
and
it.
it did just drop Friday. It's brand new. And honestly, if it wasn't for my constant doom scrolling all day long, I wouldn't know about it either. I saw it on Twitter or Threads or one of the, someplace, and it sounded interesting to me because I love Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And so I definitely checked it out. Here we go. Kevin Sweet says Chaos was good fun. And again, yeah, if you're really into Greek mythology, it helps because some of these characters are deep cuts. Now I always have liked it. So I was pretty well versed in who a lot of these people were, because I'd be like, oh, that's all right. That's such and such. I know who that is. But even if you don't, it's still definitely worth a watch.
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah.
It's all Greek to you. Steve, do you want to do one more? Are you
Yeah,
gonna,
go for
before
it.
you
Yeah,
bounce?
I'm okay. Yeah,
You good?
You know what? I'm okay. Yeah. I've not had any complaints yet for the
Oh,
noise, so I
okay.
think
All right.
I'll throw me on, throw me on.
How about we'll just
Thank
go
you.
in order with this one for you? You got
Ooh,
this?
Yes. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so this one is, you won't know from the picture, obviously, because it doesn't say the title. It's another one of those. And apologies for the poor quality of the picture because it's an animated menu. This is the 4K release of You're Next, a film. I don't know if either of you guys seen this movie.
No.
You might have
No.
seen it and not know. Okay, so this is a stalk and slash home invasion horror movie with a twist.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know. Surprise, surprise. In fact, it's not even the only one this week. If we go through my next, because there's another one on the list as well. So this is I think it's 2013. Oh God, I can't remember. But You're Next. So it's just been released here in a 4K version, which has been given a lot of advertising. They've done a lot of kind of promotion for this, and I picked it up. And this is a movie that for a kind of again, home invasion, stalk and slash, masked killers, should be right up my alley. Is a movie that I've always liked but never loved, and yet most people love that are into this stuff. Love this movie with a passion, and it's a movie that's set. Again, it's all very cliched. It is set with a family cabin in the woods. So, well, actually, it's not a cabin; it's a ginormous house, but it's in the woods. And they have a family gathering, and the gathering is interrupted by masked killers who try to force their way into the house. And people start being offed one at a time, and maybe things aren't quite what they seem. Who can say? Well, I can. I've seen it, but I won't. So things carry on, and there is some humor in it. There is a lot of gore, there's a lot of violence, and I think it's Adam Wingard, I think, who directed this. I was trying to think of his name. I think that's who it is, who has gone on to make a name for himself with a number of movies since. It is an interesting film. I enjoyed the 4K disc more than I have, and this is, I think, now the third, maybe fourth time I've seen it. I've had the Blu-ray for a number of years. And I think if you're into this kind of genre, you ought to see it. If you haven't, you should. I don't know how wide a release it's had. I don't know if it's out in the US, but if you can see it, and I would suggest that you see it streaming. If you can see it cheap, do that. And if you like it, then pick up the disc, because I don't think it's one you have to immediately rush out and buy, as much as I love this stuff. So I would. Yeah, I think it's worth seeing. In terms of the home theater experience, the 4K disc it's 4K HDR, it's DTS HD 5.1, obviously up next to Neural X. it does not. Oh, okay, Dom saying Lionsgate's got it in the US. Thanks, Dom. Appreciate that. So it's better than it's ever looked. It sounds as good as I can expect, but it's not. It's not. Oh, sorry, not in 4K. Dom says, sorry, forgive me. Right, thanks,
No,
Dom.
I have the
I found
4K.
that.
Your next 4K Blu-ray from Second Sight came out
That's it.
August 19th, 2024.
Mhm. Yeah, there we go. So that's one. So
Mhm. Oh
so
no,
it's
that's over there. So I'm sorry, that's
yeah,
yours because
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
it. It's giving me the pounds. So
Okay, yeah. So Randall
that's
was
weird.
saying, yes,
Usually they
Blu-ray
don't give that
Steelbook
to
at
me.
Walmart.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's on
Mhm.
Blu-ray over there. But I wouldn't. I genuinely, and again, this film has its fans, a huge fan base, in fact. But I personally would not say, and again, knowing what my background is like and my taste is like, I personally wouldn't say rush out and buy it. I think rent it or stream it, see what you think of it. You might really like it because it isn't really by the numbers in terms of these kinds of movies, but it just, for some reason, never quite gel with me. So anyway, so it looks better than it ever has before. The HDR does make a difference in terms of the kind of the overall look of the movie, but it's not a kind of definite buy in terms of this kind of movie that I would, if people are thinking, well, what should I go out and buy then, Steve? Then things like Ready or Not is absolutely awesome. I'm careful how I say the next one. The Hunt is really good as well. I think that's 2020. Movies like that, those are really good examples of kind of modern, fun OTT horror. Whereas this, I think, doesn't quite do it for me, but I appreciate lots of people love it. So I get that. And if you do, then by all means do it. But if you haven't seen it, rent it first is what I'd say, because this would not be cheap, especially if you've got to import it to the US. Because I think it was what, $24.99 here, so getting it over there would probably cost you in the region of $50 to $60 by the time you get it over there, and that's a lot if you haven't already seen it. So there we go. But Dom clearly is one of those people who is a big fan of it. Oh, you're right.
Sorry. Yeah.
Stockbroker.
So,
No,
yeah.
it's my wife.
Sell.
So yeah.
Let me just text her and tell her I'm on recording.
Yeah, no worries. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's again.
What's
So
up,
again, yeah. So the title is You're Next, and as in YOU apostrophe RE.
Yeah. Your.
And it and Mask Killers. It is what it is, but just not quite for me. I've seen better recently, but there we go.
Yeah. They have it. Kaleidoscape only has it in Blu-ray.
I was gonna say it's
HD
on
quality.
Amazon Prime here as well, but just in HD, I'm assuming.
That'd be enough for you to get the gist of whether you like it or not. That's how I'd suggest you see it. Don't go buy it. Don't go importing this. Yeah, I'll be curious to see what you make of it. I really would. I mean, you might really like it, but I've just kind of not gelling with me. It never really has. And again, that's odd because Mask Killer Home Invasion, you might as well just call it Steve's movie.
Right.
And normally it would be fine. And again, I'm going to talk about another one in a minute that I didn't particularly enjoy either. But it's just, but there it is.
Wow. Is this the bright side? This is a rough show.
I guess, yeah.
But
episode.
But the thing is, you see, you can elevate the good by at least acknowledging the bad.
Oh, wow. Hashtag bright side, Steve. High five across the pond right there. Jeez, that was awesome. It's like you can elevate the good. Right? Yeah.
This is the thing, because we don't do ourselves any favors, do we? If we only ever say everything's great, because then you've got no baseline, have you? You've got to have your line and then go, this was good, this was not so good, and kind of, we have to. Otherwise, we're not helping people that genuinely want to hear about this stuff. So again, this is the next one I've been dying to talk about for weeks and weeks and weeks, but it's not a good one. But it's just one of those I've got to warn people about. It's not called Trap.
Let me cleanse our palate before we get into that.
Yeah, go for it.
This one here is kind of an oldie but goodie, I guess. Not really sure. It's not that old. Ocean's 12 4K on Kaleidoscape. And fun, relaxing. It's it's not a whole home theater experience by any stretch of the imagination, but it does look really nice in 4K. And it's what's the language on it, if I remember right? Oh yeah, DTS Master Audio, of course. 5.1. Everything was nice. It's just a fun movie, And this is, I feel like, did these come out? Obviously 11, it's a remake, and then they went nuts with it, doing 12, 13, and so forth. But doesn't it, to me, watching this feels like obviously a caper type show, caper type movie, but it's like, I'm wondering if this is what Stallone and Bruce Willis and Schwarzenegger were thinking with the Expendables. Like, let's just make a movie and have fun. And it's like, this is a little bit more creative writing. It's obviously not acting, but you can tell that everybody in these movies are just having a ball. And like, I mean, how many, like it's not out yet. The new one with the, what do you call it?
Wolves.
Wolves.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, there's so many scenes in these now that just look like the trailers from Wolves, right? With them just sitting there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't do it right, did I? And then the other one's just silent. And they're like, yep, you're right. All right. You're right. You're always right. It's just, I mean, you just love that stuff. And like watching them all play off each other. I've seen this movie so many times. And again, for everybody listening, if I haven't said Ocean's 12, but it's knowing the payoff at the end, right? That's for me watching these movies, and it's like, the end of it now, and so you look for the clues as you're going through it and getting the big reveal at the end. It's just a lot of fun and easy watching, and so humorous. It's just, and I can't say the home theater experience. I'm not looking at it going, oh my God, when they say Brad Pitt, you dress like a pimp, and it's like, whatever they say, or a gigolo. I don't know what they said, but it's like, it's not like I'm going to come on the show and be like, oh my God, the texture in his coat and everything. It's like, no, it just looks really nice. It sounds really nice. The music in it is great. But just a great watch. How do you not, to me, how do you not own these? And I'm just popping through. I'll go to 13 next.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Steve? Steve's like, I know how not to own them. I hate them.
No. I've got them. No, I've got them. I've got them. Okay, I've got because they released the box set here of all three on 4K.
Yeah.
And we talked about Ocean's 11 a while back, and then I then just moved on and didn't watch 12 and 13. Because 12 to me is the weakest of the three. I find that there is a shark jumping moment in this. With I don't know whether we're going to spoil it, but that an actress, that one of the characters looks just like an actress, and you're like, what?
But see, that's where that's where I'm thinking the Expendables thing. I'm going #brightside, and it's shark jumping, but it's fun and it's funny. You're like, seriously? I remember the first time I saw it, and you're like, seriously, they went there? And it's like, and that's a little on the nose, but it's fun, and I think that's what it's about, especially when the whole thing wraps up, right? And they have their little dinner party, which that's almost like that's the wrap party, right? For the movie. And they're like, we're just going to film the wrap party at the end of this. And that's what it's like. I feel like every single person that took part of all the actors in this, it wasn't a tough day on the job. It was like, this is what, I can't wait to do the next one. Can't wait to do this. They just seem like they're having fun.
Well, you talk about Bruce Willis. Of course, he's in this.
Yeah. Of course.
But this is the one. Isn't this the one at Lake Como as well? Which John, of course, has recently been lurking about.
Recently been to, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that Matt Damon. I think it's Matt Damon says the reason he agreed to do this is that essentially all they did is just partied at George's Lake Como house for the entire production, and it was just a riot. And in between, you'd film a bit.
And even speaking of that, even like Matt Damon in this, his character in this is supposed to be like the novice, is supposed to be almost like secondary, nothing person. But in this cast, he's in real life, he's big. He's as big, if not big. I mean, he's a writer, director, actor, Academy
Oscar winner.
Exactly. That's what Academy Award, all of this stuff. And they've taken him in this, in a role, which I think is great. And he plays it so well of just being like that. Like, I just want, like that scene on the train when he comes up and he's talking to Brad Pitt and he's like, I want to be part of it. I just want to be part. And it's just so much fun. They role reversed his real life personality into this movie. And it's just, I think that's what makes it so much fun. It's like, and it doesn't take a lot of brains to watch the movie either. It's just fun to sit there and just watch it wash over you, So.
Well, I think they'll say, won't they? It's a Rat Pack movie
Yeah.
where the idea is you enjoy spending time with really the actors. It's then the characters are kind of incidental. It's whether you enjoy the chemistry of the actors
Right.
themselves. And that's what Wolf seems to be doing as well. I mean, obviously, we haven't seen it. I haven't seen any of the reviews for Wolf yet. All the publicity's in full swing the last couple of days for that, by the way. So it must be coming out very soon. So yeah, I like 11 and I like 13. This one is the one that you kind of get through for me to get to the next one. And it's interesting that in the next one there is no, oh, don't you look like, I think they realized they might have gone a bit too far there.
Well, and you also don't want to repeat it. They didn't do it in the first one, and you're not going to do it in the third one. They do that little gag, and it's like, okay, been there, done that. But yeah, but to your point about the characters and they're a group that you, the viewer, wants to be in, right? And they pull you in and make you feel like you're just part of the group, and that's a group of people that just having fun, love each other, and you just want to be part of that group, right? Much like Brightside Home Theater.
Well, obviously.
There you go.
Who are we to argue?
Now, all right, Steve, John, what's the next movie we hate this week?
Well,
Hashtag Brightside.
Yeah, John, do you want to go next? Or
I've only got one left. I didn't hate it, so it's up
all
to
right,
you.
let's wrap. Let's go out on a high note then. Let's. Is this what
You
we're
got
doing,
one?
Steve?
No, that one. No. I like that one. I've done that one before. We'll do that next week. The other one that's got the mask thing there. It's next.
Where is it? Do you see it?
It's there. It should be there. Down the bottom, is it?
No.
Keep going. There's one of a mask. You'll see a mask.
All right, hang on. Maybe I didn't pray.
Female wearing a mask. Yeah, have a look.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
I didn't add it to the other folder I have. All right. And away we go.
Okay, so this is in fact, it's not The Strangers, it's Strangers, Chapter 1. I think that's a fair thing here. Yes, and it is. So Strangers Chapter 1. Did we know, by the way, guys, have you seen The Strangers and Strangers Pray at Night? Have you seen either of those?
No.
Not because you might have seen Strangers. That's the one with Liv Tyler and is it Scott Speedman or something from whenever it was? Okay, so these are archetypal home invasion movies. Okay, so the first one, as I said, Liv Tyler, Scott Speedman, but pared back, bog standard, very, very straight movie where things happen and there are mask killers who turn up to harass this couple for no reason. And in fact, memorably in that movie, memorably that movie, one of the characters, one of the victims asks them, why did you do it? And they say, because you were there.
Right.
And that's kind of how it ends. So in the first one, pretty good. Second one was a couple of years ago. That's called Strangers Pray at Night, which I also thought was quite good. That's on a trailer park where, a family move in, and then whilst they're there, they're harassed by masked killers, essentially. And it was pretty decent again for a pared back, stripped back movie. I quite liked it. I did quite enjoy it, as indeed I did The Strangers. So now, for reasons, and I suspect more financial than creative, we have The Strangers Chapter 1, which is a prequel that we never needed, didn't want. But unlike The First Omen, where they've got a story that's worth telling, this is the movie that The First Omen threatened to be. Because what we have here is a movie where there are two sort of young 20-somethings who venture into the woods and they find themselves for reasons in a cabin. And wouldn't you know it, masked killers turn up. Now, this movie, as referenced in the chat there by Don, is directed by Renny Harlin. Renny, what has happened to you? We get Die Hard 2, love it. We get Deep Blue Sea, love it. We get The Long Kiss Goodnight, love it. And then we get this, which is the opposite. and as Dom says in the chat, I think Renny Harlin was needing some cash. Maybe he did. Hopefully, that's not the case. Let's hope he had a really good creative vision for this and he set out to make a great movie. And unfortunately, somewhere along the way, it just, for me, didn't happen. And let me give you an idea, and I'm not going to spoil this too much, but I want to just give you an idea of how interminably stupid this film is, because characters in all these movies, it's a genre staple that characters in all these movies do dumb things. Okay, they're supposed to do dumb things because if they did the intelligent thing, there is no drama, there's no story, is there? Right? Yeah, exactly. If they pull out a Ruger and shoot the killer's dead, then of course it's all over very quickly.
Right.
Right? It's all over
That's a
very
deep
quickly,
cut.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for about an hour ago. Pre-show, anyone that's
Everybody's
wondering.
like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah. But if you know, victim pulls out a gun and shoots them all dead, which is what would happen probably in more likely real life. There's no
Right.
story, so they have to make dumb decisions. But you need to make your characters make dumb decisions for the right reasons or for forgivable reasons. And this movie does none of that. The characters in this just do dumb things for dumb reasons, and I want to give you an example, okay? Because it's so dumb.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So in this movie, erstwhile victim, tries to escape the scene of the goings on in a car. Okay. Gets in the car, goes to move the car forward. As he does that, erstwhile killers ram that car. All right. Taking the car out of action and out of commission. Victim, erstwhile, gets out of the car. He's got a shotgun, by the way, approaches the vehicle in which the killers were situated, puts the shotgun in the window, and wouldn't you know it, killers have disappeared. Okay? So the killers have gone. They've disabled erstwhile victim's car. You can hear killer's vehicle is still running. The engine is running.
Oh, here we go.
And so what does erstwhile victim do? Does erstwhile victim get into the engine of the car that the killers have vacated where the engine is running? No. Goes wandering off into the woods with the shotgun. And erstwhile victim then becomes victim. Just what the...
Yeah, like, yeah.
And that's the sort of insufferable stupidity that doesn't, it's not part of the fun. It's not part of the genre convention that you can
Right.
kind of go along with. It's the irritating stupidity that makes you want to just go, do you know what, killers? Kill them all and do it now and save me the next
Yeah.
half an hour of the film. And if you don't, I will.
Yeah.
So,
Didn't they make a
God, this
commercial? What's the commercial they made over here?
It's like
John?
Geico or whatever.
Geico,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Why don't
they're
we
like,
get in the running car?
yeah, it's literally in a commercial.
Oh.
Like, let's go hide in that shed full of sharp objects. And then like, and then the one girl goes, why don't we get in the running car?
Yeah, I think it's Geico or one
yeah,
of those.
something like that. It's like,
It's a great commercial. Yeah.
It's so funny.
I always remember Geico seeing that one about because it's a chameleon, isn't it, or a lizard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their thing. And I remember seeing a commercial where he walks on and he goes, "Hi, I'm a gecko, and I've been asked to come in to advertise Geico. Geico, gecko.
Gecko.
So stop calling me."
Oh God.
But yeah, I don't know what happened to poor Rennie Harlin. I really like him as a director. He's made some amazing movies, some really good films. And again, Cliffhanger. Yes, thank you, Dom. Cliffhanger. Is a classic movie. We love Cliffhanger. And for any home theater fans, you love.
Oh, he did Cliffhanger too.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
yeah.
I love
he's
Cliffhanger.
But this
Great home
is
theater
just-
experience too.
Oh yeah, well, quite the 4K
Reference.
desk, and that's
Oh
fantastic.
my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is a different story. This is a movie like Trap that I just personally, if anyone said to me, see it, I'll be like, don't waste your time.
Yeah.
It's dreadful, and I bought it and I own it. And I don't know if I said it's in 4K, it's in HDR, DTS HD 5.1. It's got all the stuff, but this can't save it. It can't help it.
No.
It's just crap.
Well,
And
that was with Trap, 4K, HDR, Atmos, and hold on to your wallets. It was $39.99 as a premium buy because it's still in theaters.
Oh man.
I'm
Should be able to get there should be some sort of like compensation
buyer
scheme.
beware. I'm like, what are you gonna do? You know, it's like,
Yeah,
it's not the worst purchase. Maybe it is. I've ever made. No, I think I'm still working on that purchase.
But it's not like you to come on here though. It's not like you, Deej, to go, no, not only is it rubbish, but I'm going to spoil it for you so you don't have to
even
see
want
it.
to see it.
I don't think
saving
I've
you.
ever heard you say
Yeah.
that before.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope. I
So-
warned. I did give a 1 minute warning. But
You did. But you know what I mean? Like, so that $39.99 is going to really hurt. I mean, that is, and I get why you would, but my goodness me. Yeah, that is
was
a
bad.
real kick in the, teeth.
Yeah, exactly. And it's,
Oh, man.
but yeah, it's like that's so.
Yeah,
This
this
is a
didn't cost that
great
much,
show.
luckily. Yeah, but again, we then heightened everything else because of just
Yeah.
how,
Elevated
because we
by
did
throwing
like
the
Terminator
crap.
Zero. We did
Yes,
like
we
that.
did. Yes, we did.
Just in
We
case
did.
anyone was wondering.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. John, you ready to bring us out on a high note?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Let me see. There it is. Let me zoom in a little bit for it.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen any of these yet. Yeah.
I haven't either. I haven't had a chance. So let's that's not there we go. Here we go.
All right. So last up for me this week, obviously the first 3 episodes of Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, dropped last week on Amazon Prime. I do have the ads-free upgraded subscription, so I got Dolby Atmos, 4K, HDR, all the good stuff. As far as the story itself, and I won't really say much, but for anybody that was now, I happen to quite like season 1 of this show, even though I know a lot of people did not, or a lot of people were on the fence and had some questions about it. Season 2 just starts on a tear. Like, these episodes are great. All the world building and all the setup, all the heavy lifting was done in season 1, and these just come out the gate, and they are, I think they're great. Like, they're really, really good. And Amazon does not shortchange you here. These are 3 episodes, and they're 68 to 70, 71 minutes or whatever. Like, they're full hour plus episodes. So they're like watching, it's like watching the trilogy on, Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit or what have you. They give it all to you here. So story wise, again, if you were kind of not sold on season 1, but you like this world. Now, again, these are not the Peter Jackson movies. Like, obviously we're playing in the same sandbox, but these are not prequels or really related in any way to those movies. So things look a little different, as far as that goes. But there's things that were referenced in those movies that are coming to life in this series. So you're seeing locations and places that are, kind of in ruins in the time of the Lord of the Rings, but they're in their full glory here. So it's really cool for those that like to make those connections. But definitely, I would say give this a watch if you were on the fence. It is worth it. In terms of the home theater, this show is gorgeous.
Really?
Yeah,
that's good to hear especially from Amazon, because you know how we feel about that.
It is gorgeous. Now, again, season 1, I felt like we talked about, and we had similar feelings. Like, some of the landscapes and some of the set design and all that stuff from season 1 were phenomenal, and it carries through here. Like, they spared no expense making this show.
No, they didn't.
And I mean, just what they paid to get this thing going. And luckily Amazon has done what Disney refuses to do. And Amazon has committed to this show, because season 1 of this faced a lot of the same backlash and a lot of the same things that, like, The Acolyte recently suffered. And where Disney pulled the plug, Amazon is committed to giving us all 5 seasons of this, regardless of what, kind of the Rotten Tomatoes or anything like that says. We're going to get all of this, which is great. They spent the money and they're going to give it to us. But yeah, home theater wise, audio is okay. Again, it's not going to blow you away like a disc will. But for streaming, it's quite good. But for me, it's in the visuals here. I mean, this show is just gorgeous to look at. Even if the story isn't really pulling you in, it's worth it just to look at it, because it looks great. And, like, again, this has the budget of any blockbuster movie, that you would go see in the theaters. They, like I said, have spared no expense here. Unfortunately, the image I put up here is a little bit of a spoiler. So sorry. If you've paid attention to season 1 at all. But anyway, but go ahead.
How's the which we like to get How's the previously on at the beginning? Remember, like, do they do a good
They
summarization of season 1 at the
they-
beginning?
They do. Now I came off of a rewatch. Like I just binged season 1 to get ready for this. But yeah, even to the point where I've heard people online say, look, if you didn't like season 1 or you haven't seen season 1, just skip it because the show brings you up to date and you don't even have to watch it. I wouldn't give that recommendation, obviously, because I liked season 1.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that were kind of saying, look, you can start with season 2. It does a good enough job of getting you back into it.
Yeah.
So if you don't have time to binge season 1 again, don't worry too much about it because it does do a good job of catching you up. Yeah. And then like Jordan was saying, a lot of theaters did have the first 2 episodes.
Yes.
And I heard that it sounds like Jordan went to his, and I can even imagine what it looked like, on the big screen.
It's interesting. One of my followers is a lady called Helen O'Hara who works for Empire Magazine. She freelances and she's one of my Twitter followers. She's one of my first ones. Know her fairly well. She reviewed the first sort of 4 episodes for Empire Magazine. Obviously, I think we've all heard of that. It's obviously movie magazine over here.
Yeah.
It's out over there, and a lot of the same people who came for The Acolyte are coming for this.
Yes, they are.
And are trying to kind of, kill this. And the poor woman, the invective that was presented to her on X or Twitter,
right,
after her review, because she really enjoyed this and liked season 1. I mean, I really enjoyed season 1, so I'm looking forward to this a lot. But they're all trying to jump on the bandwagon for that as well, and she really did get some horrendous stuff on Twitter because of it.
Yeah,
which is
I've seen a lot of that. Like I said, my block game is strong nowadays on social media because I just block and move on. I don't even bother with it anymore. But yeah, again, and it's the same type of hate, like I said, that the Acolyte got and some other things got, from the same type of people.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to this.
But like I said, I think I may be speaking out of turn, but I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Amazon is committed to giving us all of this, no matter what.
Right.
So,
well, they spent $1 billion on just the rights, didn't they? So they've got to go all out with that.
It's a 5-season arc, and I think we're going to get it all. So I'm here for it. Like I said, this is really good. And like I said, they don't skimp on them. I mean, episode 4 might be 28 minutes. I don't know. It hasn't dropped yet, but they give you a lot for your money, I guess.
The rest of the way it turns into a sitcom.
Exactly.
Oh, wait. It's like,
they're all 28 minutes long.
Yeah. Like,
I think I'm gonna wait to see this though in the cinema room when we get back. Yeah, even on the projector, I do want to. I want to see it at home, because I've got a person that I watched season 1. I mean, I watched season 1 twice, once on my own and then with someone else who had just watched the Lord of the Rings movies, and he really wanted to see it. So we watched season 1 again, and he loved it and just was transported. So this is something again need to see kind of with him, to see season 2 again back in the UK. So yeah, looking forward to that. It does look very cool. So yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, John. That is good news.
I'm excited.
I'm really liking it. Again, I'll say it again. I liked season 1 a lot, but with season 2, I really, really have enjoyed so far. Like I think they really upped it, up their game a notch because the story is fantastic. So.
Yeah, and season 1 went head to head with House of the Dragon.
Yeah,
and it's like I think there was like a week apart or something, wasn't it? Or like because we did a lot of comparisons between the two,
right?
And they were like literally like even here on the show, we were like, I liked this episode better than that episode, and it went back and forth week after week. Like some weeks it was one show was better and the other show was better, and
seeing it online, after season 1 of both shows, I feel like the consensus was overwhelmingly that House of the Dragon was the better show.
Right.
Where I've heard exactly the opposite here, because a lot of people were very let down with season 2 of House of the Dragon and seem to have come along more on this. So now I think the tables have turned. Now, again, we're only 3 episodes in, the rest of the season could be terrible. I don't think it will be, but I mean, it could definitely not stay the same. But I think now online, it seems to be more that people are gravitating more towards this than they are House of the Dragon. So
Yeah. But even we were like, when we were talking about it, we're like, when we'd say one was better than the other, they were
it was
both
from
great.
week to week, right? It was week to week.
it's
This
like-
episode was better than that episode.
Yeah.
But
If they weren't being compared, we just would have been saying like, this is great. I really like this episode. But it's
Right.
like, if you had to choose, which one would it be? And it's like, and I think sometimes when you do compare stuff like that, you end up being perceived as like, that one isn't good. And it's not that it isn't good. It's just this particular, it doesn't rise to the exact same, like, I'm going to give it like, this one's a 90 out of 100 and this one's an 85. So that one's better. And it's like, oh, so the other one's crap. No, it's just a notch below. It's, you know what I mean? And it's like, and people read that way. Like, oh, he didn't like it. Oh, geez.
and the other thing I'm seeing is that there's a lot of criticisms on the first couple of episodes here where they're comparing to like Game of Thrones season 8, that it's too dark and people are having a hard time seeing what's going on. I will just say again, and I don't even have a professional calibration, but with a decently calibrated system, I had no issues at all seeing anything that was happening on this show. But yeah, I've seen that criticism as well. And I can see where, I know what they're talking about because there are scenes that are darkly lit.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't have any problems with it. So again, if you're having those issues, check your settings, because it's not an Amazon issue. It's a settings issue.
And it's and it's so funny. We're so in tune with that stuff. As soon as a scene happens, you just like, you can already hear the social media, like, here we go.
And I just want to start chiming in on every post. It's not them, it's you, but I don't have time. Although I do have time for it, I don't have the energy for it.
John's got 2 laptops going, hand on each.
Yeah, I've got time for anything. Like I can just, engage with all the trolls, but I don't have the willpower.
Oh God, yeah.
No, guys.
No, looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to seeing it as well. But talking the time, guys, it's nearly 1 a.m. here. Yeah. So I don't know if you've got.
Well, we're bouncing anyway.
I don't have any.
Oh yeah, you sure?
Yeah, we're done. Cool. We're wrapping. VJ chimed in earlier, saying according to Dolby Digital Plus will be able to support 15.1 channels, but is currently limited to 7.1. So there you go. From earlier, we were talking about Dolby Digital having 7, but yep, that's pretty cool. So thanks, VJ. But yeah, that's it for this week. We got to get Steve to bed because it is 1 a.m. out there. So thank you for staying up with us, Steve.
That's okay. It's smooth. Thanks for staying up with us through the witching hour.
Channeled my
the radio voice.
Yeah, exactly.
It is AM radio host. Voice there.
Yep. That was like
It was Adrienne Barbeau in The Fog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Joining us on the witching hour.
Oh, God. Now Steve's not going to be able to sleep.
No.
Hey, I love The Fog.
He's going to hear that voice all night long. The sweet
Not a bad voice to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know about that. But all right. Thank you, everybody. I will be at CEDIA. We will talk lots of CEDIA next week. Steve, you going to join us next week? Are you going to be able to?
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. That was the question. Yeah, everything was great. So Steve's back next week. John, always in question, but
maybe
can't. Yep. Maybe not. Maybe he'll show up early and start talking to everybody ahead of time. He's got so much energy right now.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. All right, everybody, have a great week. Thanks for everything. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. And until then, we'll see you next week. What do you got to do?
Go push play.
What he said.
Let's try that again. Wow. Take 2.
Wi-Fi cut out.
Yeah, something cut out here. I don't know. What do you got to do?
Go push play.
What he said.
That is right.
Hey, Fred.
This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.